Okay, for this first example, we'll want to have a ruler and we're going to copy this picture down. This is a picture of a kite. We know it's a kite because the consecutive sides are congruent. And it tells us that FGHJ is a kite. We're going to find the measure of angle GFJ. So GFJ is this angle right here. Okay, and one property of a kite, it's not really so much from being a kite, it's the fact that we can draw a diagonal here and we will have two congruent triangles by side, side, side. And because we have two congruent triangles, we can say that these two opposite angles are congruent. And a kite is still a quadrilateral, so we know that inside of a kite is 180 times n minus 2, or 180 times 4 minus 2, or 180 times 2, which is 360. So this kite has 360 degrees. Now what they've given us is 128 and 72 degrees. So they've given us a total of 200 degrees. So we can figure out what's left by subtracting 200 from 360, and we're going to get 160. And that 160 represents the measure of these two angles combined. So to find out what each angle is, we would divide the 160 by 2 to split it evenly between those two angles. So the measure of angle GFJ would be 80 degrees. Okay, another property of a kite is that the diagonals are perpendicular. So when you draw this picture, just add a little right angle here to show that the diagonals WY and XZ are perpendicular. Okay, and the question asks us to find ZY. So we'll call this X. So you'll notice, and this is going to be pretty much the biggest thing that you'll be tested on with a kite. You'll notice you've got a right triangle here. And what they've given you on this right triangle is that PY is 24 and PZ is 8, and you're looking for the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So we would use, to find ZY, the hypotenuse, we would use Pythagorean theorem, that c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And x has to be our c because it's across from the right angle. So x squared will equal 8 squared plus 24 squared. 8 squared plus 24 squared gives us 640. So x squared equals 640. And then we would take the square root of 640 to find out what x is. And that's going to be 25 point, and we'll round up to the nearest tens place, so 25.3. So this side is 25.3. Okay, so those are the only two properties that you're really going to need to know and be tested on for kites. Nice and simple. So you need to know that the opposite angles in between the consecutive congruent sides are congruent, and you need to know that the diagonals are perpendicular. So I've got two examples here for you to try. We'll call this example 1, call this example 2. What I would do is I would draw two separate kites, one for question number 1 and another kite for question number 2. So I'd like for you to pause the video and see if you get what I get. Okay, so the measure of ADC, angle ADC, is going to be 136 degrees. And pause the video for number 2 and see if you get the same answer as me. Okay, and I got 9.4. If you didn't get either one of those answers, please raise your hand and let me know. And we have a test coming up, so you'll be working on the test review for the rest of the block.